Good morning.
Hey, Nan, how are you
Morning.
today?
Good, good.
Good.
Hi, Nicole.
Okay, we are now live. I guess whenever you and Janine are ready.
All right, thank you. Okay, the Public Works, Cuyahoga County Public Works Procurement and Contracting Committee meeting for Wednesday, March the 31st, 2021 will be called to order. Roll call, please.
Calling the roll, Mr. Tillman,
Here.
Mr. Miller,
Here.
Ms. Conwell,
Present.
Ms. Baker,
Here.
Mr. Sweeney.
Present.
There is a quorum.
All right, thank you, Madam Clerk. Is there any public comment this morning?
No, Mr. Chair, no one submitted any public comment.
All right, thank you. And if I could have approval of minutes from the February 17th, 2021 meeting.
So moved. Second.
Second.
We have a motion from Councilman Sweeney, second from Councilman Miller to approve those minutes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed, nay. Ayes have it. And Madam Clerk, if you could please read the first matter referred to committee.
Resolution number 2021-0082, declaring that public convenience and welfare requires resurfacing of Lewis Road from Memory Lane to South Corporation Line in Olmsted Township. Total estimated project cost, $1,500,000.
Okay, and who's going to speak on behalf of the administration for this?
Nicole English with Public Works.
Okay, Nicole, Ms. Inglis, how you doing today?
Great.
Good.
This is the start of our project for Lewis Road. This is in Olmsted Township, which, if you recall, county roads in Olmsted Township are the responsibility of the county. So that's why we are pursuing this one. It is in poor condition, a PCR of 43, as you know, 0 to 100, 100 being the best. It is about 1.6 miles in length, and we estimate $1.5 million. There is 2 culverts also, small culverts, almost pipes, if you would see them, that will be repaired as part of the project as well.
Okay, and as far as the 1.5 million goes, how do we arrive at that?
So based on lane mileage calculations, it is only a 2-lane road, but then also those couple pipes that we have to repair as well is how we've estimated it. Our bids have been coming in pretty good. We'll see, this would be sold later this year. So hopefully we'll continue to see the trend of bids coming in under our estimates.
Okay, and what's the expected start date on this?
We were hoping for August this year, and they would be able to get it done in the fall, as long as the weather cooperates.
Okay, I'll open it up for questions from my colleagues. Any questions?
Just one on the date, Chair, if I may.
Okay, Miss Baker had a question on the date.
With the resolution as it's written, it's asking for an end date of June 1st, 2022. So are you anticipating that that could take longer than this fall, or is that just kind of a cushion for in case you have unexpected issues?
Yeah, Miss English?
Yeah, we just leave that in there in case fall somehow it snows in September, or we have a really wet fall and they can't get the pavement markings down. They would have to wrap that up in the spring.
Any follow-up, Miss Baker?
Only that's quite a ways away from fall, but I understand the winter months and the challenging times there. But I just wonder if the people know that this is almost a year, that this will be anticipated begin and end date. And I guess they'll be surprised if it's done in the fall.
This is welfare and convenience, so we're just estimating when we have the contract sold on the construction site, we should have a better feel because we'll know exactly when it's going to start. The contractor will have told us what kind of schedule they can keep. So you'll see it one more time before it's actually started.
Okay, that's good. Thank you, Nicole.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, with that, then, Ms. English, what is the time frame as far as this particular piece of legislation? Because obviously August is a long ways off. Couldn't this do the required 3 readings, or is there an issue with trying to get a
Yes.
bid out? We can do the required 3.
No, that's fine. As long as we know it's moving, we'll be working internally before we're ready to sell it. So 3 readings
Okay.
is fine.
Okay, then I will make a motion for moving this along to second reading.
I'll second.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Excuse me, opposed, nay. The ayes have it. And so R 2021-0082 will move along to second reading. Miss Madam Clerk, could you please read the next resolution?
Resolution number 2021-0083, making an award on requisition number 4543 to Chagrin Valley Paving in the amount not to exceed $1,976,777.57 for rehabilitation of St. Clair Avenue Bridge number 04.44 over Dome Brook in the city of Cleveland.
Okay,
Nicole
and
English again.
Miss English, okay, if you would, on this piece of legislation.
So this is the construction award of St. Clair Bridge. This is a federal aid project. We got 80% federal funds, 20% road and bridge through the CEAO local bridge program. The engineer's estimate was just over 2.5 million. So this is coming in 23% under the estimate. We're awarding to the low bidder. There was 6 bidders total. Because it's a federal aid job, ODOT sets the percentage for diversity, which is 9% DBE, and they are committing to meet that. The bridge is in poor condition. It's a 3 on a scale of 0 to 9 for bridge ratings, where 9 is the best. So it's definitely in need of repair. And we're looking to move this forward. You'll see, I believe the dates we said is 4/8. I don't think we're gonna, well, we might need that, right? Well, I forget when your reading is, but so we would ask for second reading suspension on this one because they're eager to start as soon as possible with the spring coming. So yeah, we'll miss that anticipated 4/8 date, but hopefully by the next week we could give a notice to proceed.
Okay, and as far as the end date, what are we looking at? How long do you think this project's going to take?
We show the end of March of 22. It's really a 1-season job, so it should be done this year. It's just a matter of some cleanup that could happen in early spring if necessary. But it's anticipated to really just be this season.
Okay. Questions from my colleagues?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay, Ms. Conwell.
Through the chair to Ms. English, where is the bridge located exactly on St. Clair?
So it's over Dome Brook, so it is in the park area, but St. Clair runs pretty high up. The bridge is really close down by the brook, so you might not see it as you're driving in St. Clair, but you can see it driving through the park. So it's a small stone arch bridge, not one of those big massive ones. It's a small one next to it that the brook passes through.
So it doesn't really impact any traffic, does it?
No, we had to cut some trees down that we did on a separate contract last week or the week before, and they had to shut the road down for a short time, but that's it. I mean, they shouldn't be disrupted on top very much at all.
Okay, I'm trying to have a visual. And what does it cover? What does the actual construction cover on the bridge?
I guess we're redoing, we're putting a lining in the existing stone arch bridge. They'll replace the pedestal walls, constructing the slabs coming in, the wing walls that come out from the creek. So essentially all the internal pieces of the arch that you would see if you were sort of underneath it going through the Dome Brook.
So the water touches it and impacts the bridge sometimes?
Correct.
Okay, and when was the last time it was done?
No, I can look that up for you. I don't have it right here, but I believe it was quite a while ago. So I'll look that up while we're on the next item, if that's okay.
Okay, and thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to have my name added.
Okay, if we could please add Ms. Conwell's name to that. Thank you for your question, Ms. Conwell. Ms. English, very quick question. As far as the ratings on the bridges and inspection of the bridges, how often does that occur? Is that a regular process, or is that when a city or municipality contacts the county, or how's that work?
We have to, by law, inspect our bridges annually. So we have a whole bridge inspection team that goes out annually and they file the reports with the state on all of our bridges that we have
Okay.
to
And how
inspect.
long does that process take? Is that take the entire
They-
year or is that?
Yeah, they really spend all summer hitting all of our bridges. You know, we have over 200 bridges, and then they spend the winter finalizing the reports and submitting them.
Okay.
So we've got, I want to say the bridge inspection group is maybe around 6, and they go out in pairs and they visit each of the bridges. And then there's in-depth inspections that have to occur on the major bridges every about 5 years. And those sometimes we will hire consultants, as you've seen, where like Harvard Dennison Bridge, that's beyond our internal capabilities. You know, the massive structures.
Right. Great. Thank you.
Mhm.
Any further questions from my colleagues?
Mr. Chairman,
Okay. Mr. Miller, I believe I heard first and then Ms. Baker.
to Miss English, how much traffic goes over this bridge on a daily basis?
When I find when it was last done, that information will also be on the same sheet. So I'm looking that up. I'll be able to get that to you shortly.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Miller. Ms. Baker?
Mine's probably a simpler question, and I think the chair may have asked it, and I may have missed it. But this is to begin 4/8, which is 7 days from now. Is that what you're still anticipating?
No, so we'll wait till the approval comes. That's just when we put it in the system. You know, things are taking quite a while to make their way to you through our system right now. So that was what we had anticipated when we put it in. We will wait for the approval. So I'm hoping second reading suspension could happen and they would be able to start, you know, maybe around April 19th, once we get the signed resolutions.
Does that affect your end date, or you think you still have enough room in there?
Yeah, I think they'll be fine as long as they know it's coming. We did pre-cut those trees because there's the issue with the trees is you only have until April 1st to cut them because of bats that could be in there and they could be, you know, habitat, and you only have a short window to do that. So we pre-did that work with a separate contract. So I think they'll be okay to get the construction done.
Good, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Baker. Any other questions?
If I may, I'm
Okay,
sorry.
no
Just to
problem.
follow up, that 3/31/22, are you concerned about winter months in that deadline? That you wouldn't ask for more time, or is this just a smaller project?
Yeah, smaller, and there's not really pavement markings. That's what kind of kills us in the fall on the roadway jobs because everybody's trying to put pavement markings down in the fall, and there's only a couple contractors to do it. So this cleanup work would be more finalizing landscaping, putting trees in. So they would be able to do that in the early months of next year if needed. But they really are hoping that this job will get all done this season.
By fall. Thank you. Thank you.
All
Chief.
right. Thank you, Ms. Baker. Any other questions? Okay, seeing none, I'll make a motion to move R2021-0083 onto second reading suspension. Could I have a second?
Second.
I have a second from Ms. Conwell. All those in
Yeah.
favor say aye.
Aye.
Hi,
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
And
Madam Clerk?
Councilman,
Oh,
I
I'm
have
sorry.
the answers real quick on this that they had
Okay.
asked. Just so,
Yep.
there's 4,000 vehicles per day that travel on St. Clair in this area, so it's not too major of a road. And then it was built in 1929 and it was rehabbed in 1975. That's the last time we've touched it.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you. And so we pass that along on second reading suspension. Madam Clerk, if you could read the next resolution, please.
Resolution number 2021-0084, authorizing an award of requisition number 5135 to Rush Truck Centers of Ohio in the amount not to exceed $523,386 for the purchase of 3 replacement dump trucks.
Okay. And who's here to speak on that? We have
Melanie
somebody
is
to
on
speak.
mute, I think. Melanie is going to speak. to
Okay,
this one.
Melanie, you're on mute. Yep. There we
Can
go.
you hear me now? I'm
Yes,
sorry.
yes, we can. No problem.
These 3 dump trucks that we're requesting the authority to purchase are for our sanitary and our road and bridge division. They are replacement dump trucks. And the replacement trucks will be a total cost of $523,386. And the trucks that they are replacing will be auctioned off at Gov Deals. We actually utilized the state of Ohio ODOT contract to procure these dump trucks. And the state of Ohio ODOT contract offered competitive bidding, and they had 14 vendors, and Rush Truck was the best bidder for the state of Ohio.
Okay. When do you anticipate purchasing these?
As soon as the items are approved, we will be sending the purchase order to Rush Trucks, and the delivery date, I think, is within 90 days.
Okay, and what's the condition of the old vehicles, the 3 old vehicles?
From what I understand from our fleet division, they have been, they're in very poor condition, and they have been a lot of recent vehicle wear and tear has been on the vehicles, and they've been having substantial need for repairs.
Okay.
So that's the reason why we're looking to replace them at this time.
Okay, and then in the interim process of us potentially approving this and moving it forward, taking 90 days, are these vehicles going to be continue to be used in service, or are they kind of put off to the side right now?
No, they have to be used in service, be used in service. So we're
Okay.
going to continually incur costs until we get this approved
Okay.
to keep the
And
other
then-
vehicles on the road.
Okay, and then when does the auction occur?
Now that I don't know, I have to actually get that answer. But
Okay.
usually, I don't know, Nicole, do you happen to know when the actual auction occurs?
Gov Deals goes through OPD, so we send the information down there with the titles and everything, and then they put them out. And I believe it's pretty quick. I mean, after we send them the information, they typically post it within a couple weeks, and then I believe it's out there for a few weeks, and then they close. But it
Okay.
does go through OPD.
Okay, questions from my colleagues?
Yes, Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Mr. Miller.
is the auction process an online auction?
Yes.
And have we used them in the past, and how well has it worked?
Yeah, OPD does this all the time with all sorts of excess items, I mean, anything from furniture to vehicles. We've sold quite a bit of vehicles in the past, and they are pretty successful. I mean, people come even from out of state sometimes to pick up the vehicles, but we are able to sell most of our items that we put through there.
And do we sell any items on live auctions?
I don't believe they used to do in-person auctions, but I'm not sure that that's happening anymore. The sheriff used to host some, but that's been a while since I recall those happening. So these are, I think, only estimated to be maybe worth $5,000. So it's a pretty low value. I know they used to sell like the higher value, the drug cars that they would get possession of, those higher dollar values in a live auction, but I haven't seen that happen recently.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Miller.
Lenora
any-
is on, I see. I don't know, maybe she'd have more insight into that since it comes through OPD.
Yes, Lenore Locke is on. Basically,
Yes.
public auctions are done at the request of the department. Is usually when you have a substantial amount of inventory. Usually you don't do live auctions when you have 1 car or 2 cars here or there. Usually before the online took ramped up, basically live auctions were done and you basically gathered a lot of commodities. I believe the last time we did close to a live auction was when we sold the county headquarters. And remember, Nicole, I think you were involved with that was the last time. So when you have a substantial amount of inventory, that's when the live auction would be of benefit. Because it takes a lot of manpower. You have to have a walkthrough for the potential buyers to come and walk through and view the items. You have to have set up for people to take away the items, people on clerks on board to receive the funding. So usually live auctions are when we have a substantial amount of inventory.
Got it.
And Mr. Chairman,
Yep.
to Nicole or Lenora, how much commission do we have to pay Guffield for the online auction?
Gov deals get 7.5%. We get 92.5%. We did an RFP, we do RFP to process, and the split on the revenue is part of the criteria that's scored. And they were the most recent vendor that won. And they've been consistently the vendor that's won the last couple of times, but we do a competitive process.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Miller. Any other questions?
Just one on the funding, Chair.
Okay, Ms. Baker?
So the Road and Bridge Fund, 34%, is that, do you have like subcategories that say road and bridge and then equipment? Do you have certain pockets of money put aside, or is this just generally out of the Road and Bridge Fund?
Ms. English?
I can actually
Melanie? Okay.
answer that one.
Okay.
And when the actual budget is set up, there is budget set aside for equipment. So in the budget structure, there is an equipment allotment each year.
Okay, and that this 523,000 fits within the equipment line item for road and bridge and sanitary operating?
Yes, actually, road and bridge is only one of the actual trucks, so it's 174,462. The other two are sanitary.
Okay, and that too has its own category for equipment.
Correct.
All right, good, thanks, good to know.
Okay,
Mr. Chair.
thank you. Thank you. Ms. Conwell?
Yes, through the chair to Ms. C. Is there I believe there's an actual inventory record kept. So when these dump trucks come out of service, what happens with that? How are we keeping our inventory, and is that inventory list public record?
So yes, whenever items are sold via like Gov Deal or come out of our inventory, there is a transaction or a sheet that the department has to fill out, and they forward it, and it actually comes out of our inventory. Subsequently, whenever we purchase the item, we do let the fiscal department know, because that comes in as inventory and is able to be capitalized and such. So yes, as far as inventory, it is kept. It does come out of our inventory whenever we sell items, and it's just paperwork that goes via the department to pull it out of our inventory.
And one final question, what is the, so being able to look at the inventory list, you can kind of determine what's the life of a vehicle or equipment. What's the life of our dump trucks?
I don't know the life of these particular dump trucks. I do know that we had them since 2004 and 2000. So
Okay.
that's on average, I would say about 20 years.
Okay.
And also because of the wear and tear and what we do with our dump trucks, it may, diminish the life expectancy. But because at this point it's costing a lot of money for upkeep, that's why we're looking to replace them.
Okay, well, 20 years seems like a long time for a truck, but I don't work in that. So, but thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right, thank you, Ms. Conwell. Any other questions or comments?
Just one follow-up to the
Baker?
list of equipment, Chair. So when the old dump trucks are sold in auction, does that money then go back into the equipment fund as a credit to be used for future purchases?
It goes back to the actual funding source, not necessarily to the equipment fund. It does go back into the actual funding source. So the money does go back to road and bridge or sanitary, not necessarily looked at as a credit to the equipment balance. But we do know that we did get revenue, and it is sectioned off as equipment revenue from sales.
Okay, is there a reason why it doesn't go back into the equipment fund, or is it just not set up that way?
So for revenue purposes, we don't set it up that way. We don't deposit revenue into our actual expenditure accounts. We have separate revenue accounts. So it is categorized as equipment purchase revenue. So if any point in time we want to say, hey, we got $30,000 in, so we can justify the purchase of this item, we can look back at the revenue to see that.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you. Any further questions? All right, with that, I think we've talked quite a bit about these trucks. So, good questions though. So you were looking for this on second reading suspension because of those trucks, their condition, you want to get this moving along?
Yes, please.
Okay. If there's no objection, I'll make a motion for second reading suspension for R 2021-0084. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a
Miller.
second from Councilman Miller. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Thank you. Is there any miscellaneous business before the committee this morning? Okay, seeing none, could I have a motion to adjourn?
I so move.
Okay, we have a
Second.
motion and a second. All those in favor of adjourning, say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and we will adjourn at 10:25 a.m. Thank you, everybody.
Thank